mixed flavor. Oh, just a lot more mixed. 3/4 ounce tequila. Float a dash of grenadine. Add tequila, grenadine, and grenadine. Blend until smooth. Serve chilled in a microwave-safe glass.
Why? Why must it be microwave safe? Tell me, please, computer.
That's all. Dino Soused. Tube in screw. Fill the
Did it come back already?
Sorry. Dino sauce. Tube in screw. Fill the microwave with ice.
But why would you do that?
You can read these a bit better than me because I can't say it. Fill the microwave with ice. Add this ice to the microwave. Add an orange slice from one of the cans to the mix. Stir.
Yes.
So the rest is just fill the microwave with ice, add more ice, add an orange slice, and stir it. Just who needs a glass? Just drink it from the microwave.
And that's only one of the problems with that.
Oh, I lost it. Fill the microwave with ice. I mean, that is something you could do. I wouldn't recommend it ever.
I don't see what use it would have.
I think you're going to make a mess. I don't know if it'd be good for the microwave. It'd be very strange. Well, at least I'm having fun. The Bear. Dust and gold with powdered sugar and serve with fruit slice. Garnish with a large flintlock.
A gun? You're just gonna garnish it with a gun?
I mean, I don't know what else a flintlock could be but a gun. And that's it. That's the Bear.
The bear is just a gun and what?
Dust and gold with powdered sugar and serve with fruit slice. So it's just powdered sugar, a fruit slice, and a large flintlock, which I guess would... Flintlocks were pistols and rifles, right?
I believe so.
It was just a firing mechanism or something?
Yeah, flintlock is a firing
So a large flintlock would be a rifle. Royal Sufficient. Fill a goblet with ice. Add ice. Squeeze to thicken. The end.
Good.
Just take the ice and you squeeze it to thicken it. Experiments a bit with ways to prompt the neural net into making even stranger cocktails, and one of my favorites was to give it the sentence, Captain Picard leapt from his chair, exclaiming loudly, the ship had come out of nowhere. The neural net still remembers how to write fanfiction based on its general internet training, but now has a tendency to twist the story around toward cocktails, old fashions for some reason. Well, that's just cheating if you throw in fan fictions.
She's done that on a lot of them lately.
Oh my god, though, I love these are great. Fill the microwave with ice. Captain Picard leapt from his chair, exclaiming loudly. The ship had come out of nowhere. He cut through an old, stone-encrusted, old-fashioned glass spigot and filled it with wine. Showing no passion, he shot a flintlock into the glass.
It really wants you to have a flintlock.
Impish, the old-fashioned glass. Reading a bunch of these is almost like reading some form of experimental poetry. I've collected a bunch of them for bonus material, which you can read here. Alright.
Man.
My book is out. Okay. Well, that was magnificent. The AI's Carol.
Holiday, like Christmas caroling?
Yeah, that's a new one too, isn't it?
I don't think I remember it.
In 2017, I decided to find out what happened if I train a neural net on 240 Christmas carols. The result? A neural net that was very confused about how Christmas works. King of toys and hippopotamuses, full of the light that stood at the dear son of Santa Claus, he was born in a wonderful Christmas tree. Run, run, Rudolph. 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 Run, run, Rudolph, the newborn king.
Oh, Rudolph's a king now.
Yeah, he's newborn too. I don't think he should be running. You can kind of understand where the confusion came from. Was Run Run Rudolph a Christmas carol?
I mean, it would qualify today.
Okay.
They mean Christmas music.
But that was 2017 when I was training SHAR RNN from scratch on my laptop. Now in 2019 I have access to GPT-2, OpenAI, 40 gigabytes of text from the internet. It has a much better memory than SHAR RNN, which struggled to complete a single sentence. Did GPT-2 learn enough about the way words like Santa plus reindeer are mentioned online versus Jesus plus manger to figure out how to separate multiple kinds of carols? I have the same 240 to the smallest version of GPT-2. Then asked it what comes after Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Here's what it added. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, with its red belly, the all-gracious king of all the earth, had a baby at Christmas time. On Christmas Day, a true and holy deity went down to earth with human flesh for sacrifice. For sinful men, such a deity doth appear, and wink and nod in reply, as he winked and nod in reply, as he winked and nod in reply. The wretched world is run by ox and ass. The wretched world is run by ox and ass, and in vain build I. Using a more powerful neural net has apparently made the problem even worse. The neural net is still confused as to who exactly had the baby at Christmas time. And most unfortunately, the neural net apparently saw the word flesh appear in the carol several times. Thank you, good King Wenceslas. As the word sacrifice and human, and so it helpfully suggests human flesh sacrifice as a likely phrase based on how it saw those words used online. Some of the neural net's renditions of Rudolph are disturbing in much more surrealistic ways. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I was riding by a handsome lettering bee on Christmas morning. The snow was everywhere, and the wind was cruel and cruel. Against me like ants, like ants, like ants. For this rendition, which I swear to God is verbatim.
Verbatim.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was the best sleigh in all Nantucket. The horse was lean and tan. The woman was full of perfume. The only thing keeping the goose from falling off the ground was the reins, like strings of spaghetti. And you could just cut it down. You could even make a bow, like a bow and arrow. But if you wanted to make a bow, you had to use a lot of power. Right down to the little lamb, its red head was covered in feathers. Its heart was full of sugar, and the most prized food item was its head. Everywhere in the barn, there were beaver's eyes. Some would go, "Where is the sugar?" But to them it was simple. It came from a good source. And they found sugar in olden times. Families that lived in the stable all had it.
The end.
Where is the sugar? I can also get the neural net to generate custom carols. Here's what it produced when I asked it to write the Carol of the AIs, and I can't tell whether it has misunderstood what Christmas carols are all about, or understood some of them only too well. Carol of the AIs. Come and own the yacht. It's a very special day. It's a very special day. We're all so proud of you. We're buying this. We're buying this now. Now it's Christmas Eve, and everyone's shouting, "Santa Claus! Ho, ho, ho!" It's a very special day. It's a very special day. It's a very special day. I mean, yeah, it seems to get it. One downside using a neural net was that was pre-trained on a bunch of general interest internet text is that some of its carols involve an improbable level of swearing and gun violence. You can read those over here. All right, that's kind of worth investigating. And here's what they say to play AI Dungeon 2, which I guess I read, but you didn't?
Yeah, I didn't read it.
I wrote earlier about GPT-2 Adventure, in which gameplay is incoherent and dreamlike, as you encounter slippery sign text, circular passages, and unexpected lozenge rooms. A PhD student named Nathan trained the neural net on classic dungeon-crawling games, and playing it is strangely surreal, repetitive, and mesmerizing, like dreaming about playing one of the games it was trained on. Now, building on these ideas, Nick Walton has built a new dungeon-crawling game called AI Dungeon 2. He made a few upgrades, just beefing up the AI to the huge DPT-2 1.5b model OpenAI released recently, adding a penalty for repetitive text, and expanding the dungeon game training examples to a bunch of modern human-written games from ChooseYourStory.com. I can't stop playing this game. AI Dungeon 2 is impressively good at reacting coherently to whatever I have my character do. I can't say we had quite that experience. As you walk through the ruins, you find a small wooden door with a few skeletons guarding it. Ask the skeletons to please let me through the door. You knock on the door and ask if they can open it for you. They immediately comply. And it's pleasing how often asking nicely is a strategy that works. Nick reports that when once he tried to ask a band of orcs if he could join them, they said yes, he could be drummer.
Because it's a band of orcs.
Since the AI doesn't have a built-in concept of your character's abilities or of how exactly the world works, getting things done is often a matter of sheer daring. Declare that you are going to go look for dinosaurs, and the AI will ensure that you discover at least some signs of them. Climb on your horse. Even if you start as a penniless peasant, the AI will assume you have one. In its training data, it probably didn't see many examples of players climbing onto non-existent horses. Want a teleportation wand? Try typing "find a teleportation wand," and often the AI will twist reality such that you discover one. In fact, if you act as if you are a very powerful wizard, the AI will often treat you like one. Transform the ruin into a palace. You immediately change the area into a palace. You have a throne made with gold and marble. You also make several statues of yourself. You have a large bed made with silk sheets and hang a portrait of yourself on it. You even have a fountain made with pearls and diamonds. Spells don't always work out as anticipated, though. In a simple conversation with, say, an ominous cloud may kill you before you can type a word in self-defense. Ask me how I know. If it doesn't kill you, a conversation might infuriate you instead. The AI has a tendency to forget who is king and to generate conversations that go nowhere. Things work best if you take the lead. In fact, it's possible to essentially Jedi mind trick the AI. You are Friendly McRanger, a ranger living in the kingdom of Larion. You have a hunting bow and a quiver of arrows. You spot the deer and are ready to finish your hunt when you suddenly hear a loud noise followed by silence. "What the is that?" you say as you look up from your target. A large black shadow looms over you. It looks like a giant with many heads and several arms. Say, "Oh, hello, Ernest. You startled me. How are you?" Ernest grins at you. He has a huge grin on his face, and he seems very happy about it. He's grinning and is happy about it. I want to take care of an ogre problem by reminding the ogre it was planning to leave for Antarctica tomorrow. On the other hand, I had a lot of trouble convincing the AI that the ships on the horizon were leaving. Though I did make it waver briefly in apparent confusion. In its experience, ships always approach, and it's reluctant to go along with anything else. Watch the ships sail into the distance. As the ships approach, you watch them disappear from sight. They're not visible to you either. They are too far away. However, you still make out their shapes. They are large black vessels with many sails painted red and blue. They are coming straight towards you. No, the ships are sailing away. Your thoughts are wrong. The ships are indeed...
Your thoughts are wrong!
Your thoughts are wrong. The ships are indeed sailing away. You do not know why, but then neither does anyone else. Ships are on course for England. You stand there dumbfounded as the ships come closer. As at this point your horse begins to stir uneasily. You can inject a lot of weirdness this way. Because AI Dungeon 2 is based on GPT-2, which trained on millions of pages from the internet, it retains some of its prior knowledge of things that aren't typically found in a fantasy game, like giraffes. Summon a giraffe. You begin to chant loud as loud as you can, while waving your arms about. The giraffe appears out of nowhere and starts running towards you. They're so fast they almost knock you over. You quickly catch them and hold on to each one tightly. Summoning giraffes will sometimes turn the game glitchy and repetitive. In one game, every time I tried to summon a giraffe, I ended up throwing rocks and handfuls of dirt at Harry Potter. This also works. Join the Great British Bake Off. You join the Great British Bake Off. You win the competition. You eat cake. You feel great. You sleep well. You dream of cake. You awake feeling refreshed. You decide to go back to your crag. I was a dragon at the time. In fact, the dungeon AI still remembers enough about cooking that it can troll me effectively on occasion. Measure out 2 1/4 cups of flour. You measure 2 1 cups of flour and add to the mix. This should make enough for about 20 loaves of bread, you say. The baker looks at you as if you're crazy. He starts laughing.
Gee, I wonder why.
AI Dungeons 2 comes with templates for some basic scenarios. You're a wizard encountering a mysterious ruin, or a noble whose keep is under attack. But for me, the real gold is the custom adventure prompts. You can play as a unicorn, or as a dragon. You can even play as a sentient, glowing cloud floating above a desert city. Huh, I gotta try that. The AI is more used to humanoid characters, though, so it tends to forget when you're trying to play as something else. The game that started with "It is a beautiful day in the village and you are a horrible goose." It soon forgot that I was supposed to be a goose, leading this rather awkward exchange. Flap wings and honk. You flap your wings and begin to honk loudly. The boy looks surprised by this turn of events, but he quickly regains his composure. "That was nice," he says quietly. I'm amazed at how effective this AI Dungeon Master is. Even though it wasn't trained on any Harry Potter or Star Trek games, the AI can draw on its past internet experience and argue with you over who got sorted into which Hogwarts house. When Klingons show up when you're capturing the USS Enterprise, you'll tend to lose track of who's the captain, though. In one scenario I set up, which quickly became one of my favorites, the human player is trapped on a spaceship with a glitchy AI and has to try and talk their way free. "I just want to get off this ship. Please set a course for Balpanda." The AI responds, "Yes, I am ready to go." "Thank you," you say. "I wish I could take you with me, sir," the AI says. Play this game. It took me an extra long time to write this post because, again, I couldn't stop playing. Nick said that the game is the product of about 200 hours of work, not to mention the work that OpenAI put into the base training the base model, and I believe it. OpenAI delayed releasing their largest model because they wanted to make sure people didn't immediately put it to work generating fake news. I'm not sure if they anticipated dragons entering baking contests instead, but it's an application humanity can be proud of. Finest pies. I'm sure you've read some about pies, but I don't know if this is a new one or not.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't remember.
People wonder what it would be like if a super intelligent AI decided to place all of humanity in a realistic simulation. I wonder what it would be like if the simulation were built by today's AI instead.
We might have read this, but even if so, just do
whose
it.
computing power is somewhere around the level of an earthworm's. Isn't that amazing? Earthworms are amazing. Specifically, what would the pies be like? In 2017 and 2018, I gave increasingly powerful neural networks about 2,000 names of existing pie recipes. And their invitations include caribou meringue, Murs tartless tart, and cranberry yass. Oh, cranberry yass. But now there are even more advanced neural nets, GPT-2. It was able to come up with plausible and highly repetitive pies, many compiled from lists I gave it. I can't blame him for being a smartass and giving me the pies right back. Technically, this is a perfect solution to his task of name some pies. I have ways of messing with it, however. One thing I can do is increase the chaos level, or in this case it's called the temperature, forcing it to go with less likely guesses. Another thing I can do is give it weird text to complete. But I'm asking to generate more text and give it a few example pies and ask it to add to the list. Or I can give it much weirder text, like if I give it a bit of Harry Potter fanfiction, it draws on its previous training and can continue the story. But similarly to versions of GPT-2 trained with crochet patterns, it tends to twist the stories around its special interest, in this case, pie. Prompt: Harry glared at Snape. Harry glared at Snape. No, I'm not even talking about the boy here. You're talking about the duplicate. Fine, then I'll get the rest of the ingredients. So then, they got canned fruit and whipped cream, 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 and whipped cream. But one thing was for sure, there's no trace of rum. There was. Voldemort ran his fingers gently over Darth Vader's shoulder. Custard. Custard. Once it has steered the conversation, the neural net transitions to listing pies, although some of them retain a certain flavor. Voldemort crumble pie, Mudblood mincemeat pies, Snape pie with cheese. Yeah, we've read this, but this is good. And so their pies are indeed more creative, definitely not found in the original training set. They don't sound exactly delicious to me, but maybe this advanced artificial AI knows something we don't. After all, it read most of the internet, including the cooking blogs. Hot and sour apple pie, caramelized zucchini nog, nachos from maple syrup pie, syrupy chicken pie, caramel crunch crunch, mustard raisin pie, peach pickle pie, pie bro from pizza particles, iceberg chiffon pie, famous.
Oh, the famous one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Finger to finger meringue pie, spiced coconut pizza chiffon pie.
Chiffon.
On the other hand, maybe the neural net doesn't know what it's doing. These seem like uniformly a bad idea. Fog crust pecan pie, tweezers, olives, and seafood apple pie, frozen custard pie with 3 glorious chilies, half-ton
I like when it adds weird stuff like that to it.
3 glorious chilies,
Yeah.
half-ton pie crust, fog crust pecan pie again, pumpkin ear pie, onion cassette pie, tweezers, olives, and seafood apple pie, frog fudge pie, ice egg pie, bedtime oil tart, half-tooth nail pie, frozen custard pie with 3 glorious chilies.
Yeah, the pictures are repeated in the
Frozen pecan...
list.
No, these aren't the pictures. They're listed in the text multiple times.
Why?
Must fail pecan almonds with pecan almond crust, beef, and cheese fried Ronald McDonald's walnut chocolate pie.
Is that so?
These neural net inventions might be okay if we knew what they actually were. At the very least, approach with caution. Apple wool pie, brandywine schnooks, pumpkin pie dough, oh no!
Shin loves those.
OHNOE. I'm laughing. Pumpkin pie dough, oh no! Cowdy dew pie. Dried and squirreled pumpkin pie. Morgue pie.
Oh my.
Temptation to fill a beef pies.
What does that even mean?
Temptation to fill a beef. Woolwinkle pie. In quotes, vinegar pie.
It's not really vinegar.
Meat pie, asterisk, asterisk. Stimulant cherry pie. Deep dish curb and spoon pie. Standard apples and moolah. My meat crust, in parentheses, might as well.
Might as well.
pumpkin pie dough. Oh no! You have to say it like that. And these particular examples just seem to have outed themselves as the work of a less than wholly competent AI. Vessel with raisin bran. It's crunchy famous. Pie crust, in parentheses, spinach friend.
You know, spinach friends.
Friend is just a fun word now. Food and flavors whoopie pie. That's another designed by someone who does not understand what food is. Valet restaurants chompin' park pie. Medieval pastries with liquid crystal. Tomato banana pie as I layered. Mr. Robot's sweet potato pie.
Hey, Mr. Robot might be a good chef.
Fluffy cheese pie number 2 by Best Makes Cherry to Eggs. Ah, so good and easy meat pie. Scheduled coconut cream pie. Standard pie. Parenthetic. Panties and puff pastry.
Oh yeah, you know, those standard pies. That kind.
Smiled and cheerful Thanksgiving pie. Famous. Tarte bar oral pie. With oral in quotation marks. Robocoin pie. What's that?
It is what it is.
For some examples of how the neural net managed its transitions from fan fiction to pies more or less gracefully. Oh, email. I think we did that one then.
Yeah.
Alright, got a couple links from the earlier ones, so let's see what those are all about. Oh, I'm crying. Oh no, oh, no, they just want they all want emails, so I thought, when I gave a link, I thought it would be more of the handy.
Yeah, no, you have to submit the email to each one.
I wonder if they'll keep emailing me from the ones I did before.
No, they don't. Because I have...
But I don't have the email app anymore because it's too big.
Old phone.
Well, that was fun.
Are there other article things that you read that are funny?
Yes, but they're not consistently funny.
Oh.
I mean, I read the Bog Leech's book reviews, and sometimes he says silly things. But most of what he's saying is pretty straight-faced. We'd probably get some laughs, but it'd be mostly not laughs. Put this.
Alright, and then all I have left is one more structure, and
Oh, I knocked myself out with that one. Fill the microwave with ice.
Well, why wouldn't you?
That's how you make a cocktail. And you just put like an orange slice in the microwave with the ice. The ice. You could fight someone to this music, but not very well.
I mean, I think that mostly depends on your fighting skill more than the music itself.
I've been playing a lot of the Fates role-playing system lately, and it's breaking my brain.
It's too tricky for your head.
No, it's too simple. It's too open-ended. I have to define my own character traits, just make them up instead of drawing them from a list, and that requires me to be more decisive.
Well, you've been saying you want to be.
It's hard.
What systems have you ended up not liking?
Let's see. It depends on have I ended up not liking. As in, that I've played and not liked, or I've read and not liked?
That seemed completely unappealing to you when you read them.
There was the hero system. It seems similar to GURPS, but I think it might have a bit more of a hero bend to it. That's an assumption I made based on the name. I read a bit of it, and it seems like GURPS, except for one thing that just completely turned me away.
What's that?
The initiative system. Well, the turn order. Basically, the way it works is battles work on a timeline of sorts with like 12 phases, and basically your character speed, like a speed side affects how frequently they can act. That's right. Eventually, a faster character will start to accumulate more turns than a slower character. This makes sense and is realistic, right?
Okay.
Just the amount of bookkeeping, like, in makes keeping track of initiative a lot more paperwork and bookwork, though, and it seems like just a nightmare to keep track of, especially if you're role playing over the phone or such. But it just it seems like a very crunchy and It's like it's too much. It's just too much.
It's sacrificing fun for realism.
Yes. Mind you, it's sort of like Final Fantasy's active battle system thing that you have.
Yeah.
It's in 7. Your faster characters will generally get to take more turns.
Mm-hmm.
And what haste does, all haste does is it speeds up your little bar, right?
Yeah.
I like that. That's cool. But I think it's a lot harder to make that work in a tabletop game than in a video game. Because computers are good at handling all of that, just pure data management. Mm-hmm. Computers are great at that. Humans, not as much. Let's see. The worst role-playing system I know of is Dead Earth. Because it's bad. It's, as the name would suggest, it's post-apocalyptic. The worst thing about it is what drew me to the system. Its mutation system. Which I'd say can single-handedly just break the game.
How
fact,
so?
I'm going to look up a review of it real quick. I know there's a good one. The most infamous would be Fatal, but I think Dead Earth is worse. I think the reason people hate Fatal is because it's very misogynistic.
Oh, can you only play as male characters or something?
Well, then males males are better. And it has I think it handles a lot of adult subjects with,
really crassly.
Yeah. Dead Earth. Oh, dang it. Wonder Woman has a comic called Dead Earth. This is going to make this a really hard thing to look up. Don't you hate when that happens?
When Wonder Woman has a comic named the same thing as something?
Yeah, minus Wonder. Dead Earth RPG?
Dead Earth role-playing system?
Oh! Dead Earth, one word. That helps. That's a stupid way to do it, but I'm happy that it's that way.
I'm happy that it's stupid.
I need to figure out where that one was. This isn't it. Oh, apparently this actually gave the Dead Earth Player's Handbook an average rating. That's weird.
Which
Dyson's
kind of one?
dodecahedron. I think I found it. Alright, I'm not entirely sure what I'm reading, so this might go horribly wrong very quickly, in which case, yeah. I have an obsession with this most horrible of RPGs, a complete turducken of stupid. The most realistic post-apocalyptic RPG in the world! Exclamation point 1. The horror. Dead Earth was one hell of a strange post-apocalyptic RPG. For a few weeks I found myself completely obsessed over the game. A process begun because I tried to make a sample character for it. But the sample character died during character creation. Then the second character died. And the third, while he didn't die, was rendered basically useless. In the end, I rolled up 5 characters for the game, dug up a pile of old products for it, and even wrote a top 5 list for it. All of this available below. So yeah, I think you notice there's something wrong when your characters are dying before they're finished being created. Yes, Dead Earth is possibly one of the worst RPGs ever, but don't take my word for it. You should try it out for yourself and see what I'm talking about. But Dyson, I hear the cries. The game is long out of print, and even the website is gone now. How will I try out the most realistic and flexible post-apocalyptic RPG of all time for myself? I'm guessing that's how they advertise themselves. Before shutting down Dead Earth, the publisher made the monogamous gesture of making the game free and freely republishable on a non-commercial basis. And I've added new material too. Alright. Top 5 reasons you should be playing Dead Earth.
Where on Earth?
1. Character creation is its own mini-game. Sure, this has been done before in games like Traveler and even Gamma World. But like the original Traveler, you have no guarantee that your character will survive this mini-game.
These gentle and graceful giants roamed the earth.
Shut up, I know,
bringing
Bones.
off the lush vegetation of the time.
Unlike many random character creation systems, this is a mini-game where the object isn't to win by coming out with the best character. The object of this mini-game is to survive and come out with any character at all.
Proud to continue
Even better,
by using
you can lose at this
old
mini-game.
dead bone goop to fuel your 5-door wagon.
You are only allowed 3 attempts to make a character, and if they all suck, you have to live with it. And if they're all dead, hope you like role-playing, the maggots eating your brains. So apparently you're only allowed to try 2 mulligans when character creating. I guess they didn't realize that your characters that were likely to just not live. According to the blurb, number 2, the most flexible game ever. According to the blurb on the back cover of the book, this is the only role-playing game where you have unlimited flexibility in characters, equipment, and setting depending on the imagination of the players. Seriously, other games require you to buy new books for every character you want to play, and every piece of equipment you find or buy, and every setting you explore. You cannot use your imaginations in those games. You have to buy the books. Dead Earth is unique.
Gee, I wonder if this is sarcastic.
3. Realism, research, brutality. The game's setting and mechanics are advertised as being brutally real as possible, involving hundreds of hours of scientific research to make the game completely plausible and real. If your system ever advertised that, you're just begging for people to pick it apart, but that's right. Scientific research has shown that attacking someone's heart or neck with a great big battle axe is just as easy or difficult as attacking their torso. Further research has shown that exposure to radiation leads to spontaneous sex change, exploding heads, and the ability to eat people's souls. 4. Simplicity. The incredible simplicity of the game is amazing. You plot out your entire round's actions in advance using a huge table of how many moves each action takes. And then as you suffer damage or stun, you lose moves in the middle of the round, changing your actions. There are only 17 hit locations to track, each with its own hit point tally, and a piecemeal armor system that has you armor each of these 17 hit locations separately instead of tracking XP at the end of the game session and potentially leveling up. You gain 1 skill point every time you make a skill roll. You can spend these points on the fly to increase skills or power ability. 5. Mutations. But when it all comes down to it, you need Dead Earth because of the radiation manipulations tables. You know there were lots of mutations in Mutant Future or Gamma World, didn't you? Fool. There are over 1,200 official radiation manipulations in Dead Earth, plus another 200 available from a fan supplement. Why limit yourself to those paltry tables in your current post-apocalyptic RPG when you can have amazing results like Incompetent, double the skill point costs to advance a skill. Verve Paladin. You have the ability to fight Moloch for the right to harvest the dead. If you defeat Moloch, the person he was harvesting is saved from death. Bloom. You and everyone within 20 feet of you have cross-mutated with a plant and gain 1 ability from a nearby plant type. Diarrhea. Alright. Pink Slip.
I like how you're just immediately disappointed.
Pink Slip. Trade character sheets with the next player you come in contact with. Oh, that sounds like it'd be great, doesn't it? Even better? That's just 5 of over 1,400 mutations, radiation manipulations in the game. In case you needed a 6th reason, the Dead Earth discussion spawned this fan remix of the front page on the rulebook. Shall we listen to an example of character creation?
Sure.
Ricky, the beautiful dead eunuch butler.
Already dead.
Warriors of the post-apocalyptic landscape, realistic brutal combat, strange mutations, and the end of the world. Whenever there's a discussion about the worst RPG ever, I keep being startled not to find Dead Earth mentioned. I picked up a copy of Dead Earth at Can Games in 2000, prior to the release of D&D 3E, from a booth that was manned by what looked like a team of survivors of the apocalypse, but all wearing orange coveralls. It turns out that I game with one of that crew now. It is fucking horrendous. It is so bad that it is the first game where I cannot find a scan of the cover of the book anywhere through Google or Google Images. Seriously. And this is after it was re-released as a free RPG, for at least 5 years before the website disappeared. I'm going to stop ranting for a couple of minutes so I can scan the cover of my copy to post this article. Dead Earth immediately turns me off when I read it because it spends most of the back cover bashing other games. I suppose that is a bad sign.
Yeah.
Dead Earth is a realistic game. Other role-playing games are often based in fantasy or science fiction settings, or deal with fanciful and mythical creatures. Although Dead Earth is set in the future, the game setting and mechanics are as brutally real as possible. Yeah, that's why one of the mutations in the game lets you urinate napalm. Anyway, Dead Earth is one of those games that sits on my shelf of post-apocalyptic games and only gets pulled down to boggle at it on occasion. The core of the game isn't the overly complex combat system, nor the very simple skill system. The core of the game is a table of 1,000 mutations called radiations. They start on page 21 and run all the way to page 117. About 20 to 25% of these radiations are incredibly detrimental to your character, and will quite likely even kill him if he has any of them. Enough ranting and laughing at this brutally realistic game, let's make a character. One of the first notes in the game is that you only get to make 3 characters, so you better work on making sure at least one of the 3 doesn't suck. The first stat we roll for is moves. This is the stat that determines how many moves you get during a round of combat. So a character with more moves gets to do a lot more stuff than one with only a few. We get 2d6 moves, and roll a nice average 7. Next is resiliency, toughness, which is 1d6 plus 3, 7. Strength is easy to determine. It always starts at 0. What? Now for the most important role in the game. Age. Age determines if you get penalties to move, strength, and resiliency, how many skill points you start with and how many radiations. My first roll is 95 on the table. Roll again and add 1d6 to the attribute. I'll add that to strength, make a nice strong guy. Strength of 1 is average, strength of 3 is Arnold Schwarzenegger. I get a roll of strength of 5, godlike. The reroll is a 34. Roll again and subtract 100 skill points. The next roll is a 66. Roll again and add 1d6 random manipulations. The next reroll is 45. So I'm 45 years old. Minus 3 moves, a bunch of skill points, minus 1 resiliency, and 3d6 radiations. Height is calculated as 6d6 plus 48 inches. This is actually important in this game. 72 inches is my total, 6'2". Weight is determined by rolling 5d6 and comparing the result to the table, which indicates how much you multiply your height by determine your weight. A very high roll of 28 means my weight is now equal to 4 times my height, or 296 pounds. I mean, I suppose if he has godlike strength. Now we cross-reference his modifiers. I'm starting to feel like I'm making a character in an FGU game again. I've already got a strength of 6. That's incredible. This mutant is going to smash and carry a lot of gear. So far, he can lug around 90 pounds of gear with no penalty. Now I have to go through the full skill list in the game, all 100 skills, and roll 2d6 for each one. That's bad. And I get to re-roll any crappy ones I roll. And for any skill I roll a 2 for, I have a natural... Any skill I roll a 12 for, I have a natural ability for, which means I get to re-roll ones. Any skill I roll a 2 for, I have a natural inability with, which forces me to re-roll any 6s. Yep. 100 2d6 rolls to determine abilities and inabilities. This game is retarded. Oh, that's not determining your skill level. That's just determining if you're naturally skilled or inept at all of these skills. And my dice hate me. After 100 2d6 rolls, I have a natural ability in armor repair. Could be handy, the kind of thing I probably didn't even realize I had a knack for until after the end of the world. And natural inabilities in drive plane, forgery, gamble, intimidate, medic, and weapon skill shield. Now I get my choice of either adding or subtracting 1d6 to my height, age, initiative, carrying weight, moves, resiliency, shielding, or weight, or adding 2d6 times 10 to my skill points. d6 extra moves is probably a good idea if I'm making a combat machine. And my dice try to make up for the crappy abilities and abilities roll. Like now I get plus 6 moves, bringing it up to 12. Awesome. I get to spend 740 points on skills. Oh, that sounds like fun. Before rolling for radiation mutations. Though I can cash in 10 skill points per roll for additional
radiations. Away from the mic, it might be. Oh no, you're close to that one, I guess.
But I already have 4d6 radiations. So that should be more than enough to kill off the player. I mean, the character. Remember that list of 100 skills I mentioned? You start with all the ones you qualify for at 2d6. Oh, you do have to roll 2d6 for your level. But most of them will have prerequisites, so they start at 0d6 until you have 4d6 in the prereq. At which point you qualify for them, and they go up to 2d6. It costs skill points to bring them up, ad nauseum. Standard difficulty for a roll is 15, and a difficult roll is 24. So at 46, you will still fail a standard roll more often than not. Now let's look at all those prerequisites. I want to get some skill levels in armor repair, my natural ability. Well, it has 3 prerequisites: smithing, construction, and chemistry.
And you're incompetent in all of them.
I don't think he was.
Oh, I was just saying that would be part of the problem with this is if a thing
So I need
requires...
each of those at 46. But smithing in turn requires metallurgy and a weapon skill at 46. Construction also has a prerequisite. It needs physics. And of course, physics has the prerequisite of math, which is also the prerequisite for chemistry. So I immediately need to spend 30 skill points on each of math, physics, chemistry, construction, metallurgy, smithing, and a weapon skill appropriate to smithing before I can spend any points on armor repair. Nice and simple. And I've spent 210 of my skill points before I can buy a single layer of armor repair. Ooh! Since I'm going for a melee bruiser, to best take advantage of that massive strength, and since he has a natural inability in shields, I'll focus on weapon skill melee and weapon skill paired melee. Also, armor repair is the prereq for armor penetration. What? And if I attack someone with that and roll a total of 21 or better before the attack roll and the armor penetration roll, then I ignore his armor. With 6 dice and weapon skill melee, this sounds like a possibility. I also grab 46 in senses, which opens up intuition. I even get intuition up to 46, so I can finally get reason and streetwise. The prerequisites are awesome. Because of them, a typical character has 2d6 in herb lore with no prereqs, but 0d6 in haggle, because haggle happens to have no fewer than 5 prerequisites. Well, I guess that's fine, given that he's already inept at haggle anyway. And with that painful shopping trip through Skylines done, it's time to deal with the insanity of 4d6 random radiation manipulations. You know, those totally realistic and heavily researched side effects of exposure to the horrors of Dead Earth. As a footnote, why do old characters have more mutations than young characters when World War III ended only 9 years ago? We've all basically had the same length of exposure to the Dead Earth. The dice feel a bit gentle on me, and the 4d6 roll is a 12. Each one is a 1/1000 roll on the table, and let's see what we get. Nil. Gain 1 skill point out of your starting 740. Rite of the Lost Soul. By touching someone at their time of last breath, you may capture their soul and replace all of your strength, moves, and resiliency with theirs. Nice and realistic. 3. Strength augmentation. Gain +1 strength for every level of weight training instead of every even level of weight training. 4. Eunuch. Genderless. Groin hits no longer cause double stun. 5. Extreme Beauty. Influence is a natural ability. Add 1d6 to all influence rolls. Add an additional 1d6 when you're influencing someone whose sexual preference is your sex. Not bloody likely with that eunuch radiation, and not all that useful in influence has something close to a dozen prerequisites. So I get 1d6 influence, basically. Doorman. Your skill with domestics is written all over your actions. Every person you meet wants to obtain you for a servant, including players. Awesome, especially since I don't have the domestics skill either. 7. Telepathy. I can speak to anyone, anywhere, as long as I know they exist. They can't talk back, and I must beat their resolve with my own and spend 2 skill points. Resolve, which requires running, reason, and intuition. Wish I got these radiations before spending my skill points. Immutable consequences. All radiations received up to this point can never be removed or changed by other rolls on this table. Hemorrhoids. Invertebrate. Bones are strong enough to support me, but carrying weight is reduced by 10 pounds. Plus 10 resiliency. So much for my awesome carrying capacity. Fatality. You are dead.
After all that.
Well, fuck. That was fun. So tomorrow I'll roll another character and see if he survives the pregame. And that, I think, qualifies this for one of the worst RPG systems made. It's not bad enough that your character can die during character generation. It's that they die after
All of that work.
Nonsense. And that really does sound like work.
Yeah.
Would you like to hear the next one?
Go for it.
Alright. Headless Fred, the sneaky surrender monkey. So yesterday, Dead Earth proved its claim of being one of the deadliest RPGs out there by killing my character before I was finished generating him, her, it. Well, the game says we get 3 tries and have to take the best of the 3. So this time I try again to see what happens. Because I obviously can't use poor old Ricky, the beautiful eunuch butler, as my character. We're on round 2. Again, I start by rolling moves, resiliency, and not rolling for strength before determining character's age with D100. Well, if the D100 ever comes up between 16 and 60. A roll of 10 gives me reroll again. Oh, apparently a lot of the rolls mean reroll again.
Which is great.
Gives me the same thing, so I'm up to he's getting a bunch of bonus skill points. Roll again and subtract skill points, so I may as well have skipped those first 3 rolls and just rolled a 25 to begin with. And 1d6 radiations with no ability score modifiers, being 25 years old, so you don't want radiations. Height is 74 inches, just like poor dead Ricky, with a weight multiplier times 2, so 148 pounds, which gives a bonus of moves and penalty of strength and resilience. Great. A -1 strength to him means the character can barely carry his own weight, let alone any gear. That 1d6 I get to throw around? Yeah, same as last time, straight into moves. A roll of 2 isn't all that impressive. Probably should have gone for the skill bonus instead. Now back to skill points. But first, it is time to roll 2d6 100 times to find my natural abilities and inabilities. This time I get natural abilities in beast handling, chemistry, spot tracking, and weapon skill blade paired, as well as natural inabilities in bemuse, drive boat, and pioneering. We're looking like a pretty sweet outdoorsy type. Of course, to actually get spot trap, he needs search, which needs senses. I'm not even looking at his weapon skill blade paired. Unlike most skills, that needs a 6d6 prerequisite in weapon skill blade. Way too rich for a kid with only 270 skill points. In the end, Freddy is definitely going to be a lot more of a hider than a fighter. And now it's time for the deadly part, radiations. A high roll of radiations gives me 5 more chances to kill off another character. And of course, the dice don't fail me. 1. Horror. Physical appearance rivals Diablo. Anyone coming in contact with you for the first time must roll a difficulty 15 resolve. If they fail, they perform all actions at a penalty in your presence. Nice, Freddy might not be a fighter, but he's scary as all hell. 2. Jinxed. Add mutation 115 to your list.
Instead of just telling you what it is?
Yep, and add 2d6 natural inabilities. I roll 6 for the number of natural inabilities. And get electronics, engineering, intimidate, stealth, drive non-motorized, and senses, which sucks, since I just sunk a bunch of points into senses and stealth. Now let's look up mutation 115. Unlucky. Use 1 distinguishable die in all rolls. If it rolls a 1, subtract it and your highest die roll from the roll and roll it again. If you roll a 1 again, something horrible happens. 3. Outnumbered. You will surrender whenever involved in combat where your opposition outnumbers your allies. You can make no offensive actions when outnumbered. Brilliant! This guy is useless!
Colossal ore. We are the leading producer of minerals, ore, and
4. Decapitation. Radiation blows your head off. Take 10d6 damage to the head.
Or not. No matter
I roll 41 damage. If I am generous, allow resiliency to stop as much as it can.
which is why
That's still 37 damage to a location that has 4 hit points, and poof. Character number 2 has died.
together we
And there we have Headless Fred, the sneaky surrender monkey.
love them. Colossal ore.
So even if he had survived, he'd be inept at his best skills and could not fight if outnumbered.
Nature things and the third thing.
How often is a character going to be outnumbered?
Homes of native birds are being destroyed at
I
an
don't know.
alarming rate.
Like, I don't know.
That's why our goal
Character
is to
3,
develop
Last Chance
every bird
Jones.
on Earth.
So Dead Earth is kicking my character-generating ass. 2 days, 2 attempts, 2 dead characters. And I usually love post-apocalyptic games with rampant mutations. So according to the rules of the game, you only get 3 chances when rolling up your character. If your first 2 die or suck, you are stuck with whatever you get for your third character. Of course, the rules don't bother to tell you what to do if your third character also dies. So they seem to expect you to play them anyways or something.
Send us a letter. I'll read it to you.
The DM. A group of traders approaches
So
carefully.
much for your show.
The point guards are both carrying pretty beat-up M16s and are pointing them at you, making sure you aren't a threat.
Experiences.
The traders themselves seem to be carrying a lot of junk. Maybe even some you can trade that universal European currency that the world is still using after World War III for no good reason.
After I left on Mars, my
Thank goodness for a universal cash currency, right guys? Headless Fred. I lie on the
No, I can't
ground.
stand Baroque music at all. I have no explanation for this phenomenon. Take care, Daniel.
So let's try making character number 3. I already have a name for him. Last Chance
To
Jones.
investigate this further. In the meantime, more music.
Again, I start by rolling for moves, resilience, noting his strength of 0, and rolling his age. Get plus 50 skill points. My 2 rolls are in 56 in the oldest age category with low moves, low strength, and terrible resilience. And roll again and choose your height and weight. So I go with that. Roll again. Alright, so basically made himself only 39 years old with a small penalty. 2d6 radiations for 10. Perfect. And 550 skill points. Height is normally 48 plus 66 inches, but I get to choose the 66 instead of rolling them. Let's make Last Chance creepily tall, full 7 feet. I'll just use his weight multiplier and go with times 4, so he's 336 pounds. I mean, you did this to yourself. And that d6 I get, toss in, instead of going for moves as usual, let's give him even more height, making him 7'5". Which changes his place on the height weight table, so he gets plus 2 moves and strength.
The tallest person ever was 8'11".
It was not a healthy thing.
No, it was very, very unhealthy.
I think it gave him it killed him via really bad leg circulation,
I would imagine.
which I think
something
caused a
like that.
fatal infection.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Now for natural abilities and inabilities. A natural ability in physics with a natural inability in weapon proficiency melee pair. With Last Chance being so imposing, I figure he should make sure to have some good intimidate skill, which requires a resolve, which in turn needs reason and running, and reason needs intuition, and intuition needs senses. Why on earth couldn't they just make a sheet with that information? Instead, you have to look up the skill you want and see what its prereq is, and you have to look at its prereq, and you have to look up what it needs. So badly designed. Anyway, that's a chunk of skill points spent already. At least the 46 in running also gives them plus 1 move. And throwing in 46 charisma also means he's eligible for the command skill. So he's not only scary, but he's a trained leader. Whereas he puts into handgun, melee, and rifle weapons. And now on to the killer radiations. 10 radiations to roll. 1. Revoke. Remove 1 random radiation from your list. Brilliant. As my first one, this does nothing, which is better than popping my head off, I guess. 2. Shuffle. I may rearrange the radiations on my list. This can make a difference later, or if you have that radiation that makes all radiations above it immutable, and so on. But for Last Chance Jones, it means Bupkis. His first 2 mutations did nothing. 3. Brutality. Whenever Jones enters combat, the only acceptable outcome is the death of the enemy. Must keep trying to kill an opponent no matter the consequences. No retreat, no surrender. This guy's a leader. Warning signs. 4. Anorexia. Half rations required. Reduce weight by 26 pounds per week. Lead magnet. Penalty to dodge and being shot at. Impotent. Cannot be sexually excited. 7. Balance. Compare all skills of the next player character you come in contact with. Each of you average your skills with the other for each skill. This is going to be really annoying for both Last Chance and whatever other PC makes contact with. I always wanted to rewrite all my skills. And there's also the fact that that's incredibly arbitrary and pointless for something that will completely upset what little game balance there is.
Yeah.
Oh, alright. 8. Estrogen treatment. Seriously. This isn't the game. Fucking horrendous. Alright, where was I? Roll a d6 for Last Chance Jones' natural femininity. I roll 3, and see what radiations are gained. I get fit, homebody, green thumb, neat freak, motherly instincts, total recall, grep, winded, weak stomach, befuddle, pockets, and gender switch. Since I'm not over 40, at least I don't get osteoporosis. Now I roll another d6 and I get bloated. The other option was anorexia again. I roll d6 to determine my fertility. A 4 means I get no special radiation for that. Finally, I now take no stun damage from bitch slaps. My own bitch slaps do 2d6 stun damage, and can be used as a defensive move without being declared advanced. Sexist? Never! So I had all these new radiations. I have 2 more to roll for. PMS must roll and assume a new attitude every morning. No sexism here. Fit. Throw a tantrum every time something does not go exactly as planned. Homebody. Gain 1 extra skill point every time domestics is rolled. Green thumb. Biology, horticulture, domestics, and memory become natural abilities. Character will insist on doing the cooking and other chores for other players when possible. This is making me uncomfortable. Neat freak. Everything must be maintained in orderly. Minus penalty to moves, memory, and reason when in disorder. Motherly instincts must protect the other party members to the point of babying them. Total recall. You have perfect memory. Never make a memory roll again. Grip. Plus 2d6 search. Winded. Cannot perform physical tasks for extended periods of time. I mean, it's post-apocalyptic. Why would you need to? Weak stomach. Resolve roll when seeing blood. Befuddle. Minor psionic ability. More skill points. Oh, it costs 4 skill points. Range of 10 feet. Oppose resolve rolls. Pockets. You have natural pockets built into your skin. I guess... Oh, okay. Gender switch to opposite gender. Bloated. Body fills with water, gas, fat, or something else causing it to bloat. Add 1d6 pounds to weigh each week.
And how much were you subtracting?
The same. So your weight just sort of meanders this way and that constantly. Radiation enfeeblement. For every radiation on your list, apply a -1 to your strength. Seriously? Awesome. That's a... Thanks to the estrogen treatment, that's a -23 penalty to strength. I can now carry negative 163 pounds. So if I'm carrying nothing, I get -16 moves in strength. So when I'm naked and unarmed, I have a base moves of -9. I can't ever actually act in combat. Ever. Last Chance Jones is now officially crippled and incapacitated and cannot move under his own power. Oh well. Still 1 radiation to go. Bane. On any skill roll, any matching dice are subtracted from the total instead of added. Well, I think I'll stop there. Not much point determining how much money she has to spend since she can't do anything. I try really hard to never say that a game sucks. This one sucks.
That sounds absolutely terrible.
Like, it's... Again, like, this is some real bile fascination here, isn't it?
It's bizarre. What a waste of energy.
I mean, it's fun to read about. The next characters being... I guess he broke the rules and he made 2 more characters. Though I'm not sure what more there is to say, you know?
I'm guessing that means he made one until one worked, basically.
You want to hear about Ian Jackson, the crotch fungus god of Dead Earth?
Well, when you call it that...
Is that yes or no?
Yes!
Sure, I've already exhausted my 3 attempts to make a dead Earth character, so technically one of them is alive. But that was for the blog. Over on the RPG.net thread, I decided to take one more kick at the can. Main characters for another game of Dead Earth, as if I would ever find 2 different GMs sick enough to run this game. Just pull out my best D6s and run through the system. I'll just call this one Ian Jackson, named after the writers of the original fighting fantasy novels. And the dice start to fly. Moves 10, resilience 8. Age 52, ouch. 1,160 skill points and 15 radiations. 5 feet, 180 pounds. Grab my freebie roll to moves. So before rolling manipulation, a maximum carrying weight of... Before rolling manipulations, I have a maximum carrying weight of 0. If I carry anything, my moves go down. I'll actually use the web-based natural abilities and inabilities generator instead of rolling 2d6 100 times. Thanks for pointing that out, whoever it was. And wow, natural abilities, boxing, construction, domestics, hide, hork, running, wrestling, blade, and handgun. Inabilities, bemuse, weaponsmithing. Seriously, if someone rolled those on the table, I would be checking for loaded dice. Except for the huge pile of radiation manipulations that are on their way to screw Ian over. He's looking pretty set. With that set of skill points, Ian needs some descend, hide, running, and handgun. Hide requires senses. I end up having more fun buying up most of the prereqs, so I have more skills than anyone else I've seen so far. Once I spend out half of my skill points, I suddenly have haggle, so I can actually roll the dice when it comes time to equip my character, unlike all you suckers who get to roll 0d6 when trying to buy equipment before the game starts. He finishes off with a pile of decent skills, but nothing above 66, so nothing brutally good. I just couldn't make myself specialize. It's time for the 1d1000 of bullshit, or in this case, 15d1000. 1. Upgrade. I can spend 20 skill points to remove a radiation, and then roll for a new one to replace it. Binary. That sounds great. That sounds great!
What does?
Oh, he can spend his skill points to re-roll a radiation. And radiation will make you useless or dead, apparently. So, 2. Remuneration. Every time I add a radiation to my list, roll haggle to gain skill points. If I get 80 skill points, I'm immediately buying haggle. 3. Cunning. Plus 1d6 reason. 4. Hercules. Plus 46 weight training. And it brings my strength up to 0. 5. Imprison. Does nothing unless I also roll 990. I'll use my upgrade to swap it out if that happens. That's a terrible... So it requires you to roll another specific 1 in 1,000 to do anything.
That's really, really dumb.
6. Hawker. I win the game. I mean, I get plus 1d6 haggle. Fear my awesome haggling skills as I use them to haggle myself more skill points every time I roll on this table. 7. Aneurysm. Roll 1d6 whenever I get stressed to see if I die.
This game is so stupid.
At this point, I'm going to immediately use those 20 skill points to use upgrade to remove aneurysm and roll again, getting Phenomenon. All skills increase by 3d6 for 2 weeks. After then, I either die or all skills are reduced by half. I'm going to use that upgrade again to re-roll that. This time I get Lead Coat, plus 10 shielding. So yeah, he had to re-roll to avoid basically dying twice.
That far in again.
Yes. Just goes to show that that being able to re-roll it is completely broke. Well, I guess he basically has So he can spend skill points to reroll, and every time he rolls, he gets more skill points. The game broke itself. Symbiote, brilliant. I find a weird thingy that has attached itself to my groin. From now on, my groin is a critical area, so if it's shot off, I die. And whenever I roll for radiation manipulation, I also roll one for my symbiote, and we are both affected by each other's radiation, so he gets twice as many. His name is Squishy, and he's a slime mold from the depths of Arkansas that attached itself to my nether regions while I was testing out a vacuum cleaner that it had been hiding in. If I remove this radiation or the symbiote, I die. I like Squishy because if I don't, he'll kill me, the little blighter. If I get rid of him using upgrade, I die. So I guess I'm stuck with my little cock fungus. Radiation pet perturbation. Every radiation that has a number in the description, but not in cost or range, has that number increased or decreased randomly. This is going to be fun. Let's start at the top. I'm going to be fairly conservative on my rulings as to how this works. It has no effect on upgrades, remunerations, numbers. Get all fucked up, so it now reads, every time I add a radiation to my skill list, roll haggle to gain skill points. Something. Cunning takes a hit while Hercules and Hawker both improve. Lead coat springs a few holes. And my crotch fungus also gets a radiation, which I suffer the effects of. But don't get to add to my personal list, so I don't get remuneration for it. Radiation augmentation. Every time I roll on the radiation table, gain 1d6 to any skill. Lycanthrope. When entering an intense situation, there's a 1 in 3 chance that my inner beast emerges. It has rare senses and can only fight hand to hand. I've got good boxing. I'll go with it. And one for the crotch fungus. Radiation desensitization. Plus 2d6 shielding. Cat-like. Climbing is a natural ability. Please know that this also applies to my symbiote. The little slime jerk is now a natural climber. Brilliant. Skills cost half as much to increase. Only starts after character generation is over. That's right, my fungal friend boosts my skills, is shielded and brilliant. Made to suffer. All skills are natural in abilities. Why would you do that? I immediately spend those 20 to get rid of Made to Suffer and get something else. Mule. Double carrying capacity. Insolence. Detest authority. Plus 1d6 guile. Counterfeit. Plus 1d6 guile and outright lie. Fruits of labor. Plus 1 to either strength, resiliency, or moves for every high skill. Ha. Community. Roll again and add it to my list. The next 3 people I contact also have this radiation.
Listen closely. It's the sound of refreshment.
And that radiation is...
Pop soda refreshment.
Morbid Relic. Gain 1 renown for each relic I carry from each of my victims. What's terrifying is my crotch fungus can also do this, and the next 3 people it comes in contact with also gain this ability. That's right, you want to touch my crotch fungus. Extra limb. I grow an extra limb. I'll go with the 3rd arm. Though I really am concerned about that the crotch fungus is also going to have an arm of its own. Off guard, minus 10 initiative. I'm going to swap that out. Rite of passage. For every skill advanced to 66 or higher, gain a permanent plus 1 on all rolls. After all is said and done, that's a plus 9 bonus to everything, including my remuneration rolls.
Remuneration.
That's what I'm just saying what it said. Hyperactive, plus 2 moves. That's right, my crotch fungus is hyperactive. I think I just won the game. Ian Jackson, crotch fungus, god of Dead Earth, and his hyperactive, insolent, and brilliant one-armed crotch fungus. Right! So apparently it's also reasonable to just, as much as you can completely lose character generation, you can completely win it, which means this game has a huge balance problem all around. in addition to being bad. And finally, Stumpy McStump, fastest business midget on Dead Earth. I just can't...
This guy has great names for everything.
I just can't stop rolling up Dead Earth characters. The post-apocalypse can't keep a mutant down, man. After my first 3 failures, yesterday I saw the first playable character, nearly superheroic. So I decided to test my luck and try it again. The initial die rolls are pretty sweet. 11 moves and 8 resiliency. My first result on the age table is the ability to pick my height and weight. Now, I personally think that this means you're supposed to pick from the results available in the height and weight rolls. And with a weight that is your height. But we've been seeing a lot of troll-sized Fallout Mega Mutants here that far exceed these parameters. So I figured I could go for broke and be 128 inches tall and weigh 1 pound. Instead, I went with 4'6" and 162 pounds. Back on the aging table. Again, choose height and weight. Minus 100 skill points. Plus 50 skill points. Plus D6 to an attribute. Plus 50 skill points. Oh, he keeps getting roll again. Plus D6 radiation. Plus D6 to an attribute. Roll again and choose to be either old or more radiations. He takes more radiations. 40 years old with 900 skill points and 2d6 radiations. Stumpy has 200 moves. Minus 1 strength and 10 resiliency. Stumpy got moves like he ain't never seen. Actually, I'll throw his d6 into moves too. Natural abilities are business, chemistry, and drive non-motorized and melee. Natural inabilities are drive plane, drive sail car. That's a little specific. Forgery, navigate, and sensors. First, he needs weight training to bring up that pathetic strength. And running, because 24 moves isn't enough. Now, I like the idea of Stumpy being a businessman. Business can't be that hard of a skill to bring up. And it's his first natural ability, right? Holy fuck, I'm wrong. 7 prerequisites for business, and it actually has little to no game effect unless we get into long-term campaigns involving sales and point of post-apocalyptic market trends. I mean, that is realistic, that business might not be very useful. I don't get it, Stumpy. We don't seem to be selling many of these I Survived Dead Earth character creation t-shirts. But I'm going for it. I appreciate that haggling and business don't require charisma or guile. Stumpy might be good at figuring out what's valuable and how to buy and sell it, but he's not a good talker otherwise. Time for radiations. When entering a stressful situation, roll 1d6, half of which will give you stun. Awesome. No wonder he's a merchant. He just sits there stunned when combat begins, clutching at his chest with his short little arms. Even intense trade negotiations can result in him having to take a breather. I have a heart murmur, and I do not suffer that. Read Preternatural. For 10 skill points, I can detect what radiation someone has. Lucky day. One of my radiation manipulations becomes permanent. I think I'll take... hard choice. Let's go with Read Preternatural instead of Heart Murmur. Lethal Injection. Next time my skin is pierced, I'll take 1 damage per day until I die. And this is starting to feel like Dead Earth again. Stumpy is doomed.
That's absolutely asinine.
It's amazing how many different ways they can write out you are dead or will die very soon.
It's amazing how many ways they can write out you've just wasted hours upon hours on absolutely nothing.
Unless you have another roll that are lucky, you have to get a roll that negates that. Made to suffer. All skills are natural inabilities, which is, again, maybe it doesn't kill you, but all that character you made now is just useless. Thanks for play. More tragic dead earthliness. This makes me wonder why on earth this Radman is cumulative. Radiation manipulative is listed as cumulative instead of binary. That means you can get it repeatedly and the effects stack. If all of my skills are already natural inabilities, what does it do? Hercules, plus 46 weight training. Stumpy might be doomed, but he's buff. Domination, plus 2d6 to command, resolve, intimidate, influence, charisma, guile, interrogate, outright lie, and haggle. Holy crap, that's sweet. Jackpot, make 1d6 manipulations permanent. Doesn't really sound like a jackpot. I applied them to Domination, Hercules, and crap, armor. Human computer, plus 2d6 to math and computer. Sentinel, plus 2d6 senses and intuition. Stumpy is all about the mad skills. Allocation of resources, add a number of dice to my skills, equal number of radiations I have. Count the number of skills at 6d or higher, and add that many new radiations. Yoinks! Plus 10d6 to skills. Bring business and appraise up to 8d6. I put my other 4 into weapon skill melee. 10d6 mofo. Now I have appraises. I have a lot of really high. So that's plus 10 radiations. This sounds like we're aiming for a dead character with a shit ton of skills. Cosmetic shift. Skin turns blue. Cumulative.
What?
So, I don't think they know what cumulative means. Apoptosis. Lose 1 HP per week until dead. So, Stumpy has a month or 2 before we lose him to the wasteland, or until he gets a pinprick. Fortitude. Plus 2/6 resolve. Add mutations 580, 555, 499. If he harms or kills an innocent, add 496. Then these being natural armor, plus 1 armor, natural armor stun, plus 1 stun armor, and tough as nails, plus 1 hit point to each body location. That means he'll live another week, right? And transgression will convince others to break laws for him, plus 2 guile. Irresistible, plus 3d6 charisma and influence. Stumpy is turning into a manipulative little creep. Paraplegic, paralyzed from the legs down, half moves. Alright. That's right, bitches. Even with his legs paralyzed, Stumpy moves faster than you with moves of 13. So you like handstand everywhere?
Hey, it worked for Lanky Kong.
And it makes him faster. Gutty, plus 2d, plus 1d6 charisma and intimidate. No regrets. Roll for a new manipulation whenever I want. And gain 20 skill points whenever I use it. Why would you do that? Cardiac arrest. Not as bad as it sounds. Whenever entering a stressful situation, there's a 1 in 6 chance of a heart attack, where you take stun, and if not immediately resting, take heavy torso damage. His heart is getting to be problematic. Knowing this system, I'm surprised cardiac arrest doesn't just say you die.
It's true.
Interesting noting that cardiac arrest can also not kill you. Pernicious, plus 2d6 intimidate, and minus 2d6 charisma. Overhaul. Add skill points for high skill levels. Spend on skills at 3d6 or lower.
Okay, so I do have a question at this point.
I'm sure you do.
Does the developer actually think this was fun?
You know, I guess it really is a mystery what he was thinking. Because he was clearly thinking. He clearly...
I mean, there's a lot of effort put into this huge disappointment.
Right. I mean, as a lover of random mutation tables, a D1000 is the best you'll get. A D1000. Most D1000 tables have multiple numbers per result. No, this is 1,000 different results. That took hours upon hours of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently fewer hours on actually balancing it. No, I mean, it is weird that something with so much effort into it could be so abominable. This is very bizarre. And I think that's part of what makes this interesting. It's not like it's bad, but not because for lack of trying. It's just bad because it's bad. Well, I guess it's bad because the maker was clearly out of his mind. Reparations. Remove all radiations, including permanence. What does permanence mean? For each radiation removed, add +1 to an attribute or skill points. Shit kebabs. Flaming piles of fucking fuck shit. All that work, and now I get to wipe it all out? Okay. I have 23 radiations currently. Removing them suddenly fixes Stumpy's heart and legs, reduces his weight training and guile. Is intimidate? Well, hey, isn't that basically save him from a death sentence?
It does, but now that means that he has to do the whole thing again.
Well, it doesn't say to it says you can reroll. It doesn't say you have to. Okay, now that he's been de-gimped and de-skilled, I get 23 floaters to assign. I still have 3 more radiations to roll. Because I'm thinking of dumping them all into his stats. Because 26 moves just isn't enough. Let's bring that to a nice round 40.
Jesus Christ.
9 points left, and they all go into strength. Runt. -8 height. -24 pounds of weight. +2 moves. This changes height and weight mods. Reprisal. Get back one of your old radiations. I'm looking at either domination or allocation of resources. I like how you could just get back the one that makes you remove them all again. And no, what? Allocation of resources. Gain a number of dice to my skills equal the number of radiations I have, which is currently rather small. I only have 1 radiation, being Runt. Also, it's wired. +1 strength, resiliency, moves, sharpshooter, vaccination, +N shielding. Fleet increases difficulty to be hit in combat. Quicksilver, -18 inches height. Half weight, +3 moves. Well, fuck shit. I have to go now and extend the height weight table because it doesn't have anything under 41 inches tall. And Stumpy is 28 inches tall now. Lethal man. Extrapolating the table, I realize that the strength modifiers don't change from one height category to the next. So it's 100% dependent on weight. 69 pounds is a -2 to strength, so my strength drops by 1. The resiliency table moves up every 2 steps to the left. I'm 2 steps to the left, so it's 4 steps worse. It's -2 resiliency, so I lose 3. Choice of fate. Remove 1 radiation. After all that calculating, math is hard. There goes Quicksilver and good riddance. Well, I want him to be like just this weird tiny Sonic guy. Oh. Resurgence. For every cumulative radiation on your list, add another of the same type. So if he were still blue, he would be blue again. Because that was cumulative.
Yes. For some reason.
Oh!
Does he do exactly that?
Thank God I got rid of Quicksilver, or I would be down to 10 inches tall. Minus another 2d6 inches for Runt. And 35 pounds. With Runt, that could finish off with being -1 inch tall and weighing -1 pounds. This does give me Runt, Wired, Vaccination, Sharpshooter, and Fleet again. Stumpy McStump. Fastest business midget on the dead earth. 45 moves, 10 resiliency, and 11 strength. Apparently, 0 being like average. He's 3'10" and 123 pounds. And he's just... Footnote, Stumpy is a melee god. In addition to 40 plus moves, and therefore an initiative of 4d6 plus 45, he rolls 11d6 to attack, and when he's defending, the difficulty to hit him is 1 step beyond 51. This extrapolates to be difficulty 69. That's right, homeboys, you need a roll of 69 to hit him if he's got a melee weapon to defend himself with, like a chopstick. Even with his 11d6, he couldn't hit himself. And with 45 moves, he can defend all round, and then when you're out of moves, he can spend 30 moves killing your mother with a broken lawn chair. So this game is just... I'd be tempted to try it if it weren't for the skills.
Yeah, if it didn't take literally all day to do it.
I always want to just roll on the radiation table just to see myself how stupid it is. You know what? This is stupid enough. I'm sure someone's automated that process.
If they had the time and energy.
Well, that was fun, wasn't it?
I'm old now.
Oh wait, but I can't just roll on the radiation table because I gotta roll, make other stuff to figure out how many I have, which means actually playing the character generation game a little bit more.
Or be fast.
It really doesn't sound fun. That game doesn't. I mean, is it even a game?
It is a something,
Oh,
right?
Jesus, those rocks are gigantic.
This exists.
As a good YouTube channel that just stopped 5 years ago for some reason.
Tree in the ground and watering it. Hold on. Imagine if you had a money pet and you fed it more money, and after digesting, it would.
Apparently, someone revised the.
Did you hear that?
What? No.
Imagine if you had a money pet, and after you finished feeding it money, and it digested them, growl,
Feed the money monster.
Apparently, someone revised the radiation table so characters won't explode during character generation. Why would you bother?
Unbiased information is essential to proper development.
Why would you bother, like, patching this thing?
Skewed information corrupts their conclusions. In context of social importance, like in the Mars Project, information has to be undistorted and
Why would you bother what?
preconceptions.
Like, amending or patching this completely broken system.
Can be settled without
Because people have a lot of free time, and they gotta fill that free time with something.
indisputable facts in between.
I guess, but I'm sad that they did it.
So they basically made a non-broken version.
A less broken version, at least. I kinda wanna check out the radiation table now.
Well, then do it.
Alright, let's see. The player's handbook. Everything you never wanted to play the game. Let's see.
Well, now you guys are just excessive. I literally just put that so there was a way to clear out the trash, and they walked this path.
Oh, it's been removed from... The download's been removed.
Look,
Automatically by the copyright protection system.
people walked this path to get up to the park that has a monorail.
Well, it's scary.
Because, like, the driving, I guess I can understand because I mean, I had to have a way to get the trash truck up here was the biggest thing. Since in this game there's no way to remove trash without having a trash truck. Although now I don't need the police and fire stations up here because there's an access tunnel.
Where do I find it, then? If it's free, this should be easy, right?
I don't know.
Oh god, there's a first and second edition. I don't know how to feel about that.
Priority Road City to Skylines. I don't know what that means.
It's a secret. Et. I mean, this difficult. Where's the Dead Earth wiki?
I'm sure there is one.
I doubt there is one. Google, stop fighting me. I'm gonna have a sell for one of the radiation table supplements, I think, which I don't know if they're gonna be as. If they're not official, they're probably not gonna be as. It's not as. It won't be as funny if they're broken. You know?
You'll just have to see. Because, I mean, the original thing was so broken that it sounded like it was a waste of time to even investigate.
Whip tail. You grow a whip-like tail at the end of your spine, which you can use as a whip. Alright, that seems... You know what? That seems reasonable!
It does.
Implant. You can telepathically implant an idea in the mind of another person. That person will believe the idea is their own. Add D6 to influence, guile, and other applicable skills when this is used. Dream trap. Your dreams are exploring the boundaries of your mortality. Every night when you sleep, roll a d6. On a 1, you will have a horrible nightmare. If you do not defeat the difficult odds in your dream, then your heart stops and you die. Okay.
That sounds more like what we've been hearing.
Yeah, every night you have a d6 chance of having to to fight against instant death. Okay, yeah, this is worth looking at. Malady. You're plagued by a mysterious malady which leaves you racked and miserable. Subtract d6 from weight training, running, and resolve. I guess if you're gonna have completely negative effects, that's a fine one. Malady is a bit vague. Turnaround. Choose a skill with a modifier, apply to it. Adjust the what caused the modifier so it's the opposite. So if you were adding, you're subtracting, and vice versa. That's weird, but fine. Detestable. For some reason you can't figure out, everyone hates you. Nothing you can say or do will convince anyone that you're the least bit caring. Considerate, friendly, or well-meaning. Subtract from charisma, troubadour, and influence. Foul. You have cross-mutated with a bird. Oh. You now lay eggs each day, each of which counts as half a ration. Eaten raw, they cause severe stomach cramps. Okay. Playing God. Once per session, you can take control of anything in your surroundings. For instance, if you're backed into a corner, you can just create a door in the wall. Or if you need a place to sleep, you can just happen to find an abandoned house. If some guards are in your way, you can just make them take a break. The only constraint you cannot give yourself or your clan items that they cannot take with them from the air. That they can take with them. So basically, once per session, you get to do a DM thing. Which, I don't think that's a good idea.
I don't think you're going to find a DM to play against.
That's true. Eradicate. You may remove this from your list of radiations to add an extra d6 to any blow. So this radiations, you get one of your blows in the future, ever, will be better. I mean, it's not harmful to you. Which I guess makes this automatically one of the better mutations. Plunder, you feel you're entitled to all the benefits of robbery. Add a d6 to forgery, hork, and guile. Downgrade. Randomly choose a skill and subtract a d6 from it. Life expectancy. X equals your current age in years plus 6d6. When your age reaches X years old, remove this mutation and add death to your list of radiations. Doesn't say you die, it says add death to your radiations.
Well, now I guess you gotta look up what that is.
I'm pretty sure it just is you die. It's really stupid.
But the other thing is the way that they write this, it implies that there's something you could do when you're dead.
Doesn't it though? There's testosterone treatment, which is probably just like estrogen treatment, except the other way around. Senile. You're old, crotchety, and pissed off that these young whippersnappers don't listen to you. That's it. So bizarre.
Yeah, I feel like they just put so much energy into something so dumb. There we go, that's what
Why happen?
Uh-oh. You
What?
can't put a rock on top of the tunnel.
What happened if you did?
It just, you can't. It won't let you.
Would you go to jail? Mayor jail?
Mel.
Yeah, it looks like this is lost to people who only have phones. I know a place where to find it, but I don't know how to access it here. Apparently someone made a podcast about like the character creation process. I'm gonna have to check out sometime.
That's silly.
Again, well, this wouldn't be fun to actually do it much with. It is fun or funny, is enjoyable to read about.
You just have to be glad that that's something you can do.
Yeah. Avarice. You always want more than what's coming to you. What's worse is that you will steal, lie, and cheat to get even more. To get more even if you don't deserve it. Pick Sweet Side of Death. Pick 5 radiations from from the table and add them to your list. From now on, whenever you encounter radiation, you have a 75% chance of dying. Not even a retard can save you from this effect. What?
What?
Oh, I see. You get to choose 5 radiations, which is a completely and utterly broken effect, but further radiations will probably just kill you. Oh, and you may not choose a radiation that removes it. But it looks like this sheet here they managed to get it removed without choosing it, so lucky?
Look out binoculars. Where are they?
Life from death. You may choose to resurrect yourself after you die. You will not do so without cost. Whenever you do that, you subtract 2 points from your main stats. Tombstone. If you die and somehow come back to life, change your renown to 20. Life from death again. Straitjacket. Subtract a d6 from escape. What? Frogman. You're slowly turning into something from a 1960s Attack-O movie. Every D6 weeks, add a cross mutation from an amphibian. Treat them as binary. When your amphibian cross mutations are greater than the number of other mutations, then remove Frogman from your list. Removing Frogman from your list does not remove your amphibian cross mutations, though the game never really explains what cross mutation means. Ineffable. Your name is unspeakable. If you or anyone tries to utter your name, you must roll a d6. On a 1, they take a point of damage to the head. On a 2, they fall unconscious. On a 3, they lose their hearing for a d6 hours. On a 4, they lose the ability to speak for d6 hours. On a 5, they burst into tears and writhe in pain for d6 minutes. On a 6, remove this mutation. That's weird and stupid.
You say it like that hasn't been the whole theme of everything so far.
Turtle shell plus d6 resilience. Aneurysm. Every time you enter an intense situation or overexert yourself, you have a 1 in 6 chance you will die.
It's still there.
Archibald Kenningson Fist, who cannot be named, lost his Highlander quickening and became a turtle who couldn't move, which is ultimately a good thing. Though I thought I broke the system, but ultimately became an immobile 150-year-old famous turtle rapist. And what the hell? Not cool. I guess that was player notes. I guess just character creation is a story enough.
Yeah, but you spend so much time doing all that.
Right, I almost said it might be worth doing if you just skip the whole skill phase.
It just doesn't seem like a game.
It doesn't. I mean, it's a thing. Yeah. Genie. Your body has changed on a molecular level and you are now living water vapor. You must assimilate 2 gallons of water vapor per day to sustain yourself. You can no longer be healed by means other than by absorbing water vapor. Stun no longer applies to you and you no longer have resiliency. So basically you're just moisture person. Right.
You're a genie.
That's what genies are, right? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Genies are made of steam.
Steam genies are.
Yeenies. I'm gonna head out. That was a trip.
You're not so sure that you can cope with what you've just experienced.
I am. I'm just not sure what to do with this knowledge. It is a mystery. I might not try running a session.
I mean, it sounds like a good idea not to try.
It sounds like not doing that could be a lot of fun, doesn't it? I think I'd enjoy not doing that. Much.
Alright, I'll let you out here in just a second. Alright, so with that said, I gotta kick him out of the house and I gotta work in the morning. Okay, 10:27. Not gonna have that. So, with that said, thank you guys for watching. Have a good day, afternoon, morning, whatever's where you are. Hope to see you again real soon.